Alright, let's see here. Do a quick sound check. Bring that a little bit more forward. Sound boofer. Perfect. Awesome. Alright. Gonna do a quick little looky-loo here. Make sure we're all squared. What do these buttons do? I'm just checking around the Streamlabs stuff. Oh, perfect. You can even separate it. Oh, cool. Sorry it took so long to get started. I'm late. I apologize. There's something going on with Streamlabs with different types of settings, and now I fixed it. All right, so thank you so much for joining today. For those of you who will be joining today, my name is Rashi of the Daring Player Squad. We're playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. It's episode 5, secret episode. Hopefully we'll be done today, so I'm gonna get right into it before anyone pops in. We're gonna see if we can finish this tonight, so we can move on to number 2 later next week. Let's see here, just making sure my settings are set up appropriately. Awesome, cool. All right, let's get into business. So I believe we last left off just at the end of the second day of the last trial. This looks like 2019 06 16, 2019 16 08. Here we go. This one. Rise from the ashes. So hopefully they'll provide a little bit of a recap. Here we go. Lana. There's no stopping you, then, Mr. Wright. Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured out everything. I haven't figured out anything. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. Hey, Miss Chen, here you are. We're getting along. We're going fast. Hopefully we'll be finishing this tonight, but let's see what we can do. I don't recall ever asking for this protection. Joyce is gonna currently clean up the back. She'll be here in a minute. She'll take over the female voices because I can't. How can you be so calm? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Oh, poor Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Oh, look at him, so sad. You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And on top of it all, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey! Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. Oh, his voice changed. I'm sorry. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name in making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana! That's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you. The chief prosecutor were a witness in that case? Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky. Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Ooh. Serial murder. Oh, what now? Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. I don't know unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana! This SL9, isn't it? Is that? That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. Ooh, Joe Dark. These Twitch ads are too long. Yes, they are too long. Unfortunately, they also don't give me any, I don't think they give us any revenue, do they? They might. That Joe Dark? No, Lana! They came Lola. Yeah. That otherwise now. Emma, wait! Oh, she ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Of course. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. You damn right I should. I think they ended that program. Well, what's the point then? Oh, the irony is just that literally this is the next save point. Yes, I'll save. Thank you. Yes. Let's save. The end of the advertisement program. I think you can do that manually, but only if you hit like partnership or something. But even then, it's like. Right. February 24th, 2014. Rabble. Also, hello, Lancer. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. It's Jake Marshall. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Does this mean I missed the whole case? No, you're fine. Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross the intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. Not whole. The whale case? No, we have a whale case. I think the whale case is still here. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind call it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You are in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we got on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. I don't know what the whale case is. Tell me, what whale of a case do you expect to see? My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style! Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail! Whale case is DLC for Dual Destinies. Okay. A5. Okay, I've played Dual Destinies before. Yes. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Meow. Is there a cat somewhere? Cat. Oh, hello, Wayward. I thought you were just meowing at the cat behind me. But they are around. Yes, well, about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence... No, sorry. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses. Not doubt they, Mr. Prosecutor. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Okay, let's just press everything. What exactly do you mean keep an eye on? How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who entered the who entered the recordings. You entered them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful, but the time would come when the time would come, I'd erase the tapes. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes ought to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I erased a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatics, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know joined the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about? There was a rubber glove stuck to the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid getting fired? Hello, Edgy Jake. Objection. I think if you do bit donations, it does the objection sign. So, if you got bits to share and you wish to object, I suggest you use them. 2 security systems. I'll get a little bit more on that. You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in my day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know anything. You didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism. Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. The sensors of the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Gumshoe said something like that too. In any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Mongola sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not at all, desperados. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. Ace Attorney Online looks wild as fuck. Online? Is it online Ace Attorney? You must be joking me. That's strange. This usually is where Edgeworth says, Did you not want to raise this year? Oh, interesting. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner, or as you'd like to call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw, or otherwise you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back to the west, into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Anyway, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep it cool. Before I use it, I'd better up the ante. Chat-based attorney roleplay games. Chat-based roleplay. That'd be pretty interesting. It's a lot harder to kind of like figure out what to object, because sometimes you just object to anything and you hope for the best. So you have to like throwing things against the wall and hoping it sticks is not the greatest. They said I was supposed to be there around 2 times a day, but that's my style. Besides security room protects you anyway. If I remember, I was the saloon went down. Just an innocent man. Before I do anything, let's just check some of the new information I got. So let's check the Joe Dark stuff. Instant SL9 closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark, crime serial murder, sentence death. Victims were Edward Jones, Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates, Rachel Moss, Neil Marshall, Jason Knight. Head prosecutor was Mile Edgeworth. Witnesses were Lana Skye and Emma Skye. Executive investigators were Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Head investigator was Bruce Goodman. Investigators were Jake Marshall and Agent Starr. So, found on a bloody hammer in the evidence room, the print has been wiped. Marshall's fingerprints were in the room. Jar piece is missing. A half-written document dated 2021 can only be submitted to the chief of police. Screwdriver, ID cards. Mike Peekins. Bruce Goodman, Mike Peekins. Okay, I'm gonna abuse the cologne spray animation. Spritz, 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 spritz. I'm gonna do a quick save here because I'm not quite sure what evidence I can use. So he says he would keep aware on the evidence room. They said he was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but I ain't my style. The room is protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, there was a street side saloon at the time it went down. So. Yeah, he said he was in the saloon. I'm gonna present the fingerprints. I can't hear you right now, Joyce.
The one where it says he was in the saloon?
Yeah. This one, right?
Yeah. What's that?
He's eating mom's spaghetti. Knees weak, arms.
That's strange.
I was getting tripped up at this part. Yeah, because I have to up the ante first before I bring it up, apparently. But this is a good indicator.
Yeah, that's a good indicator that there's something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna present the prints. Or, hold on, video camera. He's supposed to wipe the security cameras, right?
Every 6 hours.
Yeah.
Technically, if he wasn't there at that point.
At the time of the murder, yeah, they wouldn't have wiped it. No, that worked out. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner! It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. This is real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Rabble, 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 rabble. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly reveals this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Shaving accident? Yeah, probably. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime! Sorry, I don't know why it's mingling back and forth. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as a blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Oh. So he says someone simply put the bloodstained hand over his hand, and that's it. The witness explanation appears valid, although there is room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without doubt, partner. If the defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. The blood-stained fingerprints. One of them just happened to be in the same place as the bloodstained fingerprints. Murder touched the locker where my fingerprints were by chance. the chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with the mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The bloodstains are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right, although seemingly alike, they are totally different. I don't see what hominins have to do with this. Didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on reports. There was a blood stain at the scene. Thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Yeah, we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion. Can't let him squirm out of this one. We gotta find something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. I'm just gonna press him on the last two. Yeah, that's right. That's right, one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? Oh, thanks for the follow, Commander Xbox 360 PS. Commander Xbox 360 PS. You mean Commander Xbox Wii 3... Was it,
Wiibox 360 played?
Wiibox 360s?
Yeah. Wiibox 360 played.
You kids and your Xbox Wii 60s. Damn.
Yes, Wiibox.
What brings you to this? Tell me what brings you to the channel, my friend. I'd like to know what draws people to these lovely little places. I see Whipjacked. Hello. People coming in today. I'm very happy to see you. I'm starting the stream later than usual, hoping something would kind of like, a little bit of change would bring in more people, but I don't know what to think about it just yet. I'm sorry, I just mishandled my OBS. Okay, we're back. I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. A locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over the locker. Apparently his fingerprints data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without even knowing it. Oh, I got an update.
Woo! Update! Okay,
Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
Here we go.
The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that is this: the security tape. So long as my trail isn't there, you can't say otherwise.
Ha 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 ha!
Ha ha! Justice. I'm gonna have to drink a lot of water. I'm sorry. This hurts my throat a bit. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, rap partner. Oh, he changed it. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us the evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Oh, I think I can, actually. I'll explain to you while I do it. I'm gonna do a coward save, just in case I am fucking totally wrong. Because that happens. What are you doing, Georgie? Sorry, my cat's pawing at something. What's up?
It's the mouse toy.
Oh, the little mouse toys, huh?
Yeah, mouse toys.
Man, you're really gung-ho about these toys, huh?
That's because they've been marinating in catnip.
Oh, they're in catnip. Okay. They've been soaked in catnip. That makes total sense. Yeah, we can do the evidence. And we're gonna show it to you now. I think Colston pointed this out last time when we were watching the videos.
Indeed.
Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us the incriminating evidence. Alright, so if I fast forward, so as you can see, on the left side, there's a person who enters, and on the far left locker, where Jake Marshall's locker is currently undisturbed. Here we saw the glove fall out of the locker. Here comes Meekins doing his job. Meekins confronts the fighter, the intruder. He gets cut up. Maymay's here. And so there's Meekins with the who is currently injured. We don't see the man exiting. However, we do see a slight change here in front of it. Let me play Right in a bikini. God, let me play any of the Fays in a bikini, except for Pearl. She's 6.
Oh, Pearl.
Present.
Present. I didn't know what you guys wanted, so I just...
I'm okay with this. Maybe are we? Oh, you called. I'm sorry. I missed it because I was already.
No. I clicked it by accident. Anyways.
Butt calls. 1 second. I'm just gonna turn this over to video or to speaker.
I just got you guys some nuggets to
Yeah, noobs. Thanks. Bring our attention back to the security camera. For some reason, it's not playing the audio properly. Joyce, help. 1 second, guys. Just making sure everything's up to snuff. It's a mistake, I'm afraid. You'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video, a bitch! Actually, that's, yeah. 1 second.
You don't have room for bitch. You said 8 words or less.
Damn it.
Why you gotta ruin my vibe like that?
Just give me a hot second. Here.
Hello, everybody. I am here. I exist. Ooh, Maui.
I don't know. I was like.
This is banana. I thought it said banana. This is mana. Pineapple mana. And I was just like,
I wouldn't have gotten it if it had banana. Okay, you know that.
No, I thought it said man.
There we go. Okay, just resetting it so that I can start hearing the volume a little bit. Banana, fizz bitch, and good.
1, 2, 3. Did you steal it? You did.
Yeah, I just stole one. Here we go.
Of course you did.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
So, I'm gonna show everybody. This is our jar of catnip. These are little mouse toys. And they are going to sit and marinate for the next couple of months while I forget. And they are now cat toys to attach to our fishing rod.
Or like we say, a catfish rod. We catfish our cats.
We catfish our cats, yeah.
Oh yeah, they go fucking haywire for it. They go haywire. I'm gonna have a nug. Celebratory nug.
Woo! Woo!
Woo! Woo!
Nobody outwoos me.
The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Alright, let's see how sturdy this mouse toy is. They're gonna fucking break it in like the next 30 seconds.
Oh, the white cloth is gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Burger King's spicy nugs are both not crispy and are both not crispy enough or not spicy enough. I mean, I always say like spice is arbitrary. Like you could argue like some spices are just like white people spicy. They're like just enough zing that you kind of like realize it's there, but not enough to do anything. White people spicy.
Do you have some mild hot sauce?
Yeah, mild hot sauce. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. McDonald nugs are superior to all fast food chain nugs. That's true. I've never not had a good McNugget experience. Like the first time I went to Seattle, remember they were having that
Oh my god.
40-piece nugget
For
sale?
like $5?
For like something obscene. They got like $5. Oh my god, that was a day. Yeah. Hold your horses, Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened up a locker and stuck it in. That's not my fault. He happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? I don't care how much machine processed pink slime is used to make them. American McNuggets are worth. Yeah. And pour yourself a Diet Coke. Yeah. The face when you casually order a 4-piece McNugget meal and then pour yourself a Diet Coke. Oh my god. Diet Coke. Diet Coke is
Zero.
yeah, you cunt.
Coke Zero.
May's just like looking at her like giant like burger and like looking at her Coke Zero like shut up. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah, I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it! My justice. Yeah, this. Evidence locker. It's only assigned to detectives and prints. Only the assigned detective prints can unlock it. Present. I don't pick juice with my meal because it's healthy. I pick it because it's the highest sugar content. Yeah, it's the exact opposite reason why you purchased it. Yeah. Fingerprint sensor. Oh, he's sweating, bitch. Look at this bitch. He's sweating. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say? 8 words or less. Ooh, sassy. Oh, he's biting into his jerky. I only got one word for you, partner. No! Ooh! He got caught red-handed. Order, witness, explain yourself.
Have some fries too.
I will have some fries in a minute. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here. We can. Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Ooh, where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Shit, where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He was the killer. Is this a killer? No. Okay, I'm confused. Victim killer, right?
Yeah.
He was Goodman. He was disguised as Goodman. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point... sorry, such voices wrong. May I point out that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Did you want to do the Meekins voice?
What was it? When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir!
Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me!
So I ate like 3 times as much as I normally do. I once tried to order my usual meal at the McDonald's, and when I was upsold double the McNuggets, I usually get it because it's literally only raised the cost by a few cents. But yeah, they really they fucking double down, triple down on their double deals. Fuck.
Ooh,
It's a chip.
neat.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why wouldn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on this ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized that man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to? Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
Ooh.
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beer, but I don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have evidence that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? I'm going to do a coward save.
Usually the answer is yes.
Do I have definitive evidence?
Oh, let's take a look.
Well, he's not in the video, but yeah. So, my argument is that not that, or is it? Where was that? That was a brand.
What are you thinking of?
I'm trying to think of the fact that he opened up, the evidence locker. He opened the evidence locker. It had to have been him. It's the only other person that could have done it. He knew where he had scope of the area, the murder area. He could get access to Goodman's stuff. He could access the controls to the evidence locker. It's there. It's in there. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
Oh,
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems like you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ah, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Edgeworth, help me!
Yeah, Edgeworth, help! It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Edgeworth, you're supposed to help me!
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Oh, this is Kathy's voice, but just you can.
No, Phoenix, try thinking outside the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise, but rather I should look for the evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Okay. Why would you think his locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened up his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence. This video is my only shot. Okay, I know what to do. Where's the long hair, though? Well, it's easy to just simply pull it up on top of into the hat. Like, put it up in a bun. Put it into a hat.
Put that man bun.
Put it into a man bun. Or as we like to call it in Texas, a Texas a Texas knot. Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. It's because he got cut. You couldn't just walk outside with blood marks, and it's pure white. So if he has cuts and bleeding, there's gonna be questions. So if we fast forward here, so there he is, grabbing it. Meekins comes in like a boss. There's gonna be a fight. I'm gonna pause just after this.
Whoop, there it is.
Boom. He got injured in the altercation. Present. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. Though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When you asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. Why does the mascot coincidentally perfectly cover his face? You know what? I don't know.
Because the universe is out to get Phoenix.
Because the universe is out to get Phoenix, right? He couldn't make it fucking easy, right?
I hear you're a novice lawyer. Let's up the ante.
A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Malek, not bad, partner.
Rubble.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. It seems the time has come. You could tell I'm coming right now. Coming all over this case.
Nope.
Officer
Hard
Marshall?
no.
Officer Marshall, calm yourself. Who's confessing? I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Okay, so what the hell do I have to do with this? So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. There was way too much blood for such a small donation.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah, he bled out like a pig. What am I supposed to find here? He confessed. I had to do it, just couldn't let stand by and die. When you say it, you mean, you even have to ask, partner?
Nut splat.
Yeah. I'm coming all over this case.
Yes,
2 years ago have passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with a transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But
right.
what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
Isn't gonna mix that bad with wine.
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. Suck a kick. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why did he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out all the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? Hello, Undead.
Hello!
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open the locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck on the door.
Ooh.
That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. That's true.
Yeah.
So if he didn't know about the lock, he couldn't have put that there to keep it open.
Yeah.
So someone else has been helping him in this. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins to knock him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
You know what? At least he's diligent.
I'll have to think a little bit more about his raise this year.
Ah,
When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
he's the high prosecutor now.
No, he's not head prosecutor.
Sorry.
He's top prosecutor, but not the head one. He was given. Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything.
Ooh, so brownies and bad voice dubs. That's gonna be a fun night.
By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and they were double chocolate and managed to escape. I knew which areas I wouldn't get caught in the camera.
Wait, what kind of brownies are we talking about? Regular ass brownies or special brownies?
Because in Canada, those are definitely legal now. Hello, my name is Jose from Indonesia. Oh yeah,
Hello, Jose.
This is
Welcome welcome back.
I always find it funny. Was it Indonesia, Philippines area? A lot of the natives have Hispanic names because of the colonization, right?
Yeah, it was like the Portuguese, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Portuguese. So you hid your.
No,
So
that's that's Phoenix.
That's Phoenix. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You have like 16 rolls tonight.
So you did your research beforehand. Those who got into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. All I had to do, if all had gone planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Press that shit.
How are we? We're doing pretty good. Good. On the path to trying to finish this episode tonight.
I have chicken McNuggets. That's what I'm eating right now.
and
Oh,
we've
I
got-
kind of want
yeah.
fried rice. The blood found on the scene, it certainly indicates the crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
Yet.
So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. Ooh.
Ooh.
What? What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Ooh, so
Ooh.
someone had gone in beforehand and taken it. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone stole the evidence? Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine! And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
Ooh, that's not a good way to go down.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. Oh shit. Can't just forget the SL9 incident, you know why? No, tell us! Fuck. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something that went down at the trial. Something no one else will talk about.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should press him on. Maybe I should present him with what I think the real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved in here is related to the crime. Is related in some way to the case. I better take another look at those files.
Keep going. It was like literally the last statement.
Yeah, I think it's because it's his brother.
Yeah.
Do you know why? It's his brother. So if we take a look at some of the case files for Joe Dark, if you look at the people who were killed, who are the victims in it, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel, it's A-E-L. Raquel, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and Neil Marshall.
Present.
I heard the meow. Yeah, it's a cat.
Yeah.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I mean, after all, I did unleash a, what was it? A catnip-soaked mouse on them. Mouse toy. So.
Yeah. I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims? Neil Marshall? Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago.
Oh, he
Cactus
was a prosecutor.
Juice. It's the quenchiest. It'll quench you.
He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
He was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell in your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gann, the deputy chief of police.
That's the man in the bottom left.
Yeah, the other cowboy.
The group of detectives I was part of worked under him. They were desperate to prosecute the killer.
Ooh, he's a stunning looking chap.
Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. And that was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions?
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me!
They made a martyr out of him.
Yeah. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day of the SL9 incident. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze me. At the exact same time as the murder in the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on in the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than that. If no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office's parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
And back to the point.
Back to the
this
point.
Is what our trial is about. Lana.
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. So if you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Objection!
Ah! Ah! I rest my case. Rabble, 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 rabble. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving this alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape was a fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
So you chased that rabbit hole way too far,
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Now then, the time for this verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it!
Oh, it's Emma!
Your Honor, wait! What did
Emma!
What did I give her voice? I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Give her a Valier voice. Like that.
It was a little bit nerdy, a little nasal.
Oh, yeah, the nasally
it was
nerd.
a little bit nasal. It was according to my research.
According to my research.
There it is. According to my research. A little bit nasal, a little bit Dorothy Ann. The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Ooh, generous.
Mr. Generous here.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joke Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky's sisters are on this file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So, I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
Do you mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. In the middle of the court.
No, she left right
Yeah.
at the end of court and booked it, yeah. So did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Oh my god, why? She's like, I went and found some new evidence. Did you find anything? No, I did not. Hello, new people.
Girl.
Host me a raffle. Host me a raffle. Who's you?
Ooh.
A host me a raffle. A bubble bee TV. A bubble bee.
Bubble TV.
Bubble tea. Damn it! I want bubble tea, Joyce. Give me some bubble tea. Joyce like, hell no.
I could without the bubbles.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
She literally just stormed into my time.
Yeah.
Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? I'll let you know after I pop this coward
save.
save. It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood marks. Looking at the floor plans, the handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. I think I know why. What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? There is something wrong.
Obviously. Always. Always.
The handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing on the floor plan? It's this bad boy, the Blue Badger. But I want to... It's either that or the tape. Everything comes back to the tape.
Can we view the tape just to be real sure?
Yeah, so if I review the tape...
We can fast forward a bit. We don't...
I can't.
Oh, no?
No, see,
Okay.
so it's right there.
Yeah.
Boom, that bad guy. But then there's no...
Yeah, it obscures... It obscures that locker completely. You don't know if that blood print was there before or after.
No, you do know, because Gumshoe said he put it in before they started the process of moving everything out, and then moved it out after the incident happened. So it shows, it gives you a time frame, right? Because Gumshoe would have been like, fuck, why is there a bloody handprint on my thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. You can't always object, especially during the last part. I remember that being penalized for that, and I'm like, oh!
Yeah, they start really like grinding you. Grinding you down.
Like the
for it.
first game, you can do that, but I definitely remember by the end of the third game, you actually had to be careful what you said. I think you're right. It's the Blue Badger.
Yeah, the Blue Badger. I don't know if it's the Blue Badger itself or the other one. Was allegedly
this
dancing
one.
in the evidence room at the time of the murder.
This one, because he's right in the way.
Yeah, but then there's also the video of it.
What? What did you...
I pushed the Badger.
Okay.
What? What about that piece of plastic? Because it was either the videotape or the Badger.
Yeah, it's likely the Badger itself.
The Blue Badger, the mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof.
I
swear
swear
that
that mascot is possessed.
Explain yourself.
Especially
Mr.
with the
Wright.
music. Da 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 da. The tape is paused, but the music still goes. You're like, oh my god.
All it needs is like little children singing slowly. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not there. So watch what happens when you put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what?
Literally in front of the...
Ugh! That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint on the spot of the locker.
So that...
What? So that means there was someone in there prior who committed an act of murder because of the blood print. Or potentially, yeah. So that means, what exactly does this mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? The blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma.
On that afternoon, according to my research, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
The Edgeworth games, there's a crazy case with a badger. Oh, good
Oh
lord.
my god, I cannot wait to get to the Edgeworth games. Like, I never actually got to play it, so that would be
That'd
new for
pretty
me.
funny,
I got it.
yeah. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation.
Oh, hey, what the fuck?
What?
The desktop audio is not on at all.
Is it not?
No, look at
Oh,
it.
lordy. I'm so sorry. We've been playing quietly all this time. Properties.
Oof.
I'm sorry. Why didn't I even say anything? There we go. Okay, here we go.
I mean, we've got beautiful voices and all, but whew,
Without the background noise, sometimes it's like
we
what?
can turn it down maybe just a smidge though. Yeah, there we go.
Blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood. From which a trivial amount of blood. Oh no, actually that's right. Which a trivial amount of blood had fell. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown in this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. I love this music.
Ah.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, it does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you to show the evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
Yeah, now
That's-
we look at the
We can look at the readings from the security.
Yeah, the
security
swipey swipe.
swipes. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the blocker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? It's the ID
Ledger,
card
yeah.
record, yeah. So at 4:20 Blaze It, there may have been a murder because there's a big 20-minute gap. Yeah, a significant gap. But who is 777, right?
indeed.
Present. The crime took place inside the evidence room and the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, the ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh, the ID card record.
I love how in this moment, the only two people, like there are two people before Meekins comes in that could have, like before Meekins comes in and puts the thing down,
Yeah.
right? So
One
that,
of which is Edgeworth.
that
which is like-
incriminates Edgeworth. I love that. I love and I hate that this
it just goes
that
back
poor
and forth.
boy.
He's like, fuck, I'm
It's
done
just
with
like,
this.
I've been accused of forgery and murder so many times in my career.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at.
Hello, Frederick. Everybody
Let's see
loves
here.
you. Oh, yes,
450.
everybody loves you.
The crime took place before that time. Then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? Immediately he thinks he's guilty. I never would have figured you as... You had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot to figure out. It couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have just had 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make any sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with the 7777777.
777777777.
Mr. Edgeworth,
He
please,
went in with 7 sevens.
Mr. Edgeworth, please take a look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number this 777777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I am unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher, someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have any authority to inquire in such a person's identity.
That's already a clue.
Yeah, it's true. That means it's someone way high up.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. It's an official charge filed against an executive. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor office operates.
So if
we file some,
yeah.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would just keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes. Not at you, to her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Sorry. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've locked her up. We've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777.
You could just say 7 sevens. If you like. You don't have to. But you could also go with 7777777.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I asked. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In what trial 2 years ago did you really only use legitimate evidence?
And that's
Forgery. Yeah, looking for forged evidence. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Well, Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. With the law!
You betrayed the law! Law!
But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in the court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Ugh. Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence.
Bum bum bum. Bitch. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Rabble, 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 rabble! Order! 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 Everyone's going fucking ape shit. Lana's remarks caused such a stir. There was chaos in the courtroom. We'll have to wait until the following day. So we literally, everything went so fucking ape shit.
That you could not
continue
the
court.
court. Could not establish order.
So Lana just admitted forging evidence
In the
against Joe Dark and had him executed.
Yeah, and that is a major crime.
Miscarry of law. Like, it's terrible. That's, like, crazy.
Yeah.
Because you can't take that back. You can't go back to him in the jail cell and be like, we're sorry. Here's a couple $1 million and we hope your life gets back together. You can't just bring the guy back from the dead, right?
Yeah.
Or
Or can you?
We look at Maya Pay. She's like, don't look at me. I ain't doing that. That's like Ace Attorney, like, 58, bringing back the dead.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright.
It was a different rabble, that's for sure.
It was a louder rabble.
It was the loudest rabble ever heard.
It was the fastest and loudest of rabbles. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Ooh!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
Oh, that would explain it. So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once we finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Dark?
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture?
Whew, let's dig up some traumatic experiences right here.
What did you see in the instant that the crime occurred?
Dark knocked Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. when I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. You've
I
been through so much.
cradled you in my arms!
I remember that. Aw.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just couldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. No. I'm a scientist, not an artist.
Attorney Online is more than chat than it is a case discussion. Is it?
Ooh.
Just want to get
She
through
would have
this.
been 14 years old at the time.
Oof. Yeah, 2 years? So,
Yeah. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. And find the evidence that makes an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about the crime.
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
There's literally just people playing Wright sucking up Edgeworth.
Oh my god.
You're telling me that Edgeworth is asking for Phoenix's meat milk? So, yeah.
So wait, no, please. If there are no role plays of, if there's no, what's it called? No. Was it? I believe it would be edging with Edgeworth. I am disappointed in you, community.
Randomly spamming objection, yeah. It's not really about solving cases, it's about people trying to maneuver people to fuck
There
with
is
certain
a random meow behind me. There is a random
objection! Edgeworth would clearly take it in the butt. And would take that on the face, clearly. Objection! Phoenix ain't no punk bitch. There's a court guy. Sustained! The ass fucking is sustained. That's a clip. No! I don't want my opinions on Ace Attorney Online to be given out to the public, disseminated. God knows.
Disseminated,
Yeah, disseminated.
What is edging? That would be being brought close to orgasm but not actually being allowed to.
My life is so fulfilling. Everyone's just like,
And
how does Joyce know
that's
that?
a kink?
A rash? Classic Howard. The Howard exclamation. Joyce? A rash? Like, you're old enough now.
Mom? Dad?
So you're able to testify. You weren't able to testify about that.
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? Bogus.
What's the point of that? I don't know.
People are weird. They like.
Yeah,
they
it's a kink. Some people just into that. Power play.
Grace is into that.
Huh.
Grace from my work, like, from Boston Pizza.
Power play or like
Edgy.
all
She
right.
laughed. I laughed at her. I'm like, you're a fucking monster. She's like, eh. I get what I want. They don't get what they want. They're like, you're an ant. You're a monster.
Hey,
She's like,
if it's mutually consenting adults, then you know
yeah, I guess.
what? All right. The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth.
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He wouldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just properly testified, none of this would have happened.
Someone playing as Von Karma keeps spamming angrily fucks a wall.
Fair.
To be fair, a lot of the sprites could be taken in very awkward ways.
Oh, I wish you could see Georgie's face. He's got this little glower on his... He's like, no.
Georgie.
Georgie. He's got little angry kitty brows.
It's because we're yelling and then the loud noises.
And
makes
then
him
his
upset.
ears are like turned backwards. He's like.
Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying to evidence.
He wasn't involved in the
He was-
falsifying of, but he presented it.
It's still
Unknowingly.
it's still
Yeah.
involvement.
Yeah, it is still involvement.
Cool reason, still murder.
Yeah.
After the case ended, Joyce.
After the case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. Kiss the angry kitty. All right. Mwah. Kiss the angry kitty.
What did he do?
He was like, he went.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Ooh, something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Hello, Frederick. Hello, Georgie.
No, that was Fred.
Frederick.
Frederick. Will you give him will there be kitty ASMR? No.
Would you hold him?
Meow. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices and the questioning rooms are right across from the elevator. Meow. Here, come here. Come here.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective.
Ah, the plot thickens. It's okay, buddy.
No ASMRs. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's new to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
これは何ですか? Nani? Shin? Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her. Very sensual talk. What? She might need some meat milk.
Oh my god.
That's what they say all the time.
We're learning so many things today in this stream. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risk.
Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about the unusual change of jobs.
I suppose you have the right to know, Mr. Wright. You have the right to know.
A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that the case largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much.
You don't turn from a detective to a prosecutor? Not untrue. You can still be a detective. You can learn to become a lawyer while being a detective and become a prosecutor, which is actually not bad, because then you kind of understand
You know
the
the
workings,
process,
You know
yeah.
the processes. There is actually a movie based on a true story where a detective turned into a prosecutor during like the war on drugs.
Mm.
Like yeah, he became a prosecutor as well for the DA.
I got that one. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me that's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said?
I know.
Meow. Something stabbing.
Yeah. By judgment, TM next week. Meow.
Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
I'm sorry, I'm petting a cat.
Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think we've ever seen Lana look so phased before. Detective Lana.
It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Look at that back turn, that back profile. Yeah. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant?
He was a deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked with crime. He still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the report could even be filed. They sold crimes. All right.
I mean, really, it's the same. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're the chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Right? So, yeah, very logical.
Yeah.
Gant's help from the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right?
Why do I feel like the sound just keeps getting louder? Yes, Deputy Chief Grant and
Gant.
Gant. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
And the same bed. I'm just joking. They even had the same office.
Ooh, you bet they shared the same office.
They fucking. They fucking.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. They fucking.
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho.
Racist. Who said their desks didn't double as their beds? Yeah, right?
I know,
Come on.
right? I mean, all those late nights working the case.
Stress.
Just find yourself sleeping at the office sometimes.
In and around the office sometimes.
Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. And that was when his final murder took place.
When you tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us.
Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. And that's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run into the scene. You were the first person to run to the scene, Lana.
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark.
Oof.
Whew! When I returned to my office, I saw three bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies?
Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall had struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and laid unconscious.
What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have got all. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident.
That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm?
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But if that case was solved 2 years ago...
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. He went southern.
There's quite a
The Keikaku?
quite a keikaku at foot.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. That's quite a stretch, though. Do you want to present anything particularly new?
Attorneys and prosecutors have no business showing evidence outside of court. It's taboo.
She really means it. So she's not gonna say nothing about
Yeah.
anything. So let's explore. Let's move to the chief prosecutor's office, which will be at the underground parking lot. Ooh, are we gonna meet someone here?
Ooh.
No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr.
Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15
But it's
p.m.
not 15. Yeah, but we thought we were finally making some headway in our case.
But instead, it looks like we ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow.
Oh, hi, prosecutor's office.
No,
No, that's sorry.
Maybe it should be here somewhere, right? Oh no, we have to go to the police office.
Yeah. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here.
Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. He took a real beating in court today.
Yeah, was Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago?
I guess we'll just have to come back later. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Never
it
mind.
was
We
a
have to
police
go.
office.
So underground parking, and then we have to go to.
Drive 30
department.
minutes to the police department.
Yeah.
Oof.
Ooh, it's Marshall.
Ooh, Marshall.
Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera. You never know what life will lead you. Hey, Bambina.
Oh, God.
I should have known my luck would have run out when old Billy tried up this morning.
Billy.
Must be this cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation.
Fair.
It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was this one.
Why do... I almost read that as, why do prosecutors head west? I'm like,
They don't?
why does the prosecutor cross the road?
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Huh, looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. And why not? Dark trial. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim had sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the SL9 incident left behind.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was the best prosecutor around.
Oh no, I'd argue your brother got both.
I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother.
Well, Detective Gumshoe technically wears his badge on his hip, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But we can double check that later.
I mean, you never see him, like,
Well-
anything below.
Yeah, like here. He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day.
Or, I mean, he could keep it in a breast pocket that's
Yeah, like he
under his
shows
coat.
it in a
Yeah.
wallet. The highest honor, because he's not a beat cop. Beat cops usually have their badge on them. The highest honor. You mean King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking
The
at me
king
like
of
that?
Shonen.
What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother.
The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as.
That's right. It was the day of the evidence. That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty.
Aha!
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person in the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant and the new chief of police arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret's too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. I think that's it. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
This
was-
is my story.
It was certainly entertaining. It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Oh, he's done. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Oh, that's the last of Jake Marshall. Bye, sport. So we go into the criminal affairs department. This place is always pretty empty, but today is deserted.
That must mean everybody's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room.
Oh, that's just. Oh, that is
Chief.
Chief, yeah.
That's
No,
the
just
chief.
to
That's
ask.
just the chief. Sorry, I'm a bad different voice. Oh, thanks. You actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she said and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention a statement to the media of tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
Whew.
I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Damn it. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Ugh. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
You gotta love the police. They're doing God's work.
They're trying.
They're doing. Oh my God, that is extra as fuck.
All right.
The fucking organ in here.
All right.
You just had
What
that
is
shit.
this?
It's like
What
a
is
church.
this
It's a church.
Phantom of the Opera.
It's literally
bullshit?
a church. He's literally a priest. Like they mentioned before. Jesus, sweet Judas.
Christ. In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me the little Miss Bach. Bach.
Little Bach.
I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me what?
Notes.
No.
She can't play with shit.
I never could remember where C was.
Ah! Oh, it's you two. Chief Dance. Oh, the knight. What?
Yeah, the knight.
The knight armor. God.
Oh.
He's White Knight. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't.
God, what is his
Obsession.
with swimming? Do you want to see little naked boys? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a priest.
Oh God.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with the Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement.
Oh, provocative.
Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
Oh, you bet it was provocative.
Oh, 2 years have passed since the incident. Oh my, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there?
Hey, the knight's in there too. Wait a second.
You see that vase?
There's a vase in the background.
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Ah.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it.
There's also a...
Sharp object.
Yes. A very glowy sharp object in there.
Oh, the long pauses that kill me.
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh. But this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd like to take a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Molly drew a picture of Gant's pool party a while back. How did that turn out? How did that turn out? Provocative. Provocative.
Provocative. Sweet, delicious, provocative swimming men. I love it. Genius.
It seems the case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. Hello, Nijiro. Hey, Colston. Cold Cuts in the house.
Woo!
Ooh, ooh, Cold Cuts. That's what we named Colston. Colston's name is Cold Cuts. Phoenix Affinity. Hey, welcome to the stream.
Ooh. Look, there's another phoenix.
The chief.
That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Maybe we can.
Of course we
So
can.
let's just try. Let's go in here.
Let's just walk in.
Hey, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm
Camera's voice now.
jeez. I'm just taking my breather. My feet hurt.
From
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee.
Oh.
Oh, sounds like Detective Gumshoe is still out of the loop.
Say, haven't either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court.
Ugh.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said? Probably.
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
Oh, we can talk to this guy. Let's do it. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him.
No, we have 2 squad bots.
No, yeah, one for the extensions.
But now with this,
Are there really so many people who hate him? Yes. Yes, there
in
are.
our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young, and there's no better recipe I know of for making enemies.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work!
Yes, sir.
Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat!
Yes, sir.
You gotta take me back to the joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir.
Seems like you don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. It's true. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all the pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth might crack.
Maybe you can get Edgeworth to get us in.
Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. My boy Gumshoe, yeah, you know it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what did you find? Did you find anything?
The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack? You mean...
When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let me see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written in somewhere in there, okay?
His powers of
man.
recollection never failed to impress.
I saw someone come in. Could it have been Angel of Light? Oh, maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Truth. We'll do that in a minute.
Tush.
Joe Doc was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day, on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his...
car. So, it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man.
Oh, sorry,
A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too.
Whew.
A jogger came up on the scene and was killed as well. Finally he turned himself in.
Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course. This is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Doc was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that the witness wasn't killed.
That last witness, aka Emma.
How does, basically a crime of passion not leave any evidence?
Well, nothing that connected them. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
So this is the Edgeworth's knife for the murder for the other dude, and this is the original switchblade knife from the SL9 incident. So let's present that. Can I not present? Present? Oh, here it goes.
Present.
Oh my god, there's like 3 pages of evidence. Kill me. Present. About this.
Hey, is that?
It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it.
Oh, Colston, what have you walked into? My fiance hated me so much that he never tried to rescue me, so I was an undead servant of the vampire for
2 years.
For 2 years before a goddess rescued me. Oh, gross. But said fiance is dead now, is he not? Is this LARPing or a very elaborate D&D? Oh, Colston.
I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case has been closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker, and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now I remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what was it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
Oops. I actually have to talk to her about the talking point. And murder weapon. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone.
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Whew.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Neil's autopsy report. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was found in the wound.
You know, that is very impressive to keep a campaign, D&D campaign going that long. Like, we've only managed to do, what, a couple weeks?
Well, that's true, but that
Before...
if you really want, that campaign has actually been multiple. It's the same campaign.
No, I mean, like...
same storyline. for,
no,
the
I mean,
past
like,
however long.
in the sense that, like, before it got difficult to keep bringing everybody together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
It was just like, and then the campaign just kind of
Fizzles.
peters out.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief
No.
Gang.
Nice
oh,
throwback.
honey.
Nice throwback. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now, and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around, if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
Eh? What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with a breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
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 Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It
Oh,
was
Emma,
Goodman's.
no!
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
You're gonna steal his card, aren't you?
No. I wonder if there's something we could... Oh.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
I don't think we have it on us. I think we need to go talk to Edgeworth. Let me check Edgeworth first. And hopefully there's something there that Edgeworth can provide with us to... Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god.
I wonder if Edgeworth is back
The
yet.
letters that you also wrote. My god, that is dedication. There he is.
What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw the paper on the floor.
Oh, you can see it balled on the floor. It was great. Nice touch.
Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Wow, what an
Oof.
asshole. Yeah, he's got a crumpled piece of paper here. I wonder what I was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth.
Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's fallen to the ground!
Hold on, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look.
What? Letter.
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside of me has died.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked, and you don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done, and no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh, I think he's serious.
Mr.
Oh.
Wright. Ooh.
Oh, thanks for
we
the
got,
follow,
we
Serenely.
got. Woo!
I hope you appreciate these bad voice dubs because that's what we do here. But no, the Daring Player Squad channel is just a channel where a bunch of us play video games every day of the week. We all play different types of video games. I like to play a little bit retro, like old Final Fantasies, and I put voice dubs on it just to keep things interesting. So yeah.
Yeah. Neat.
Thank you for the follow. Remember to drop a subscribe if you really love us. I would appreciate it, and so would the team. Tomorrow's Sunday, for those of you who are new here, that means it's a team stream, so everybody should be involved with the game that we're going to be playing tomorrow, which is Tales of Symphonia.
Tales of Symphonia.
Where actually people have now started also doing bad voice dubs, because why not?
Because it doesn't always have voice script, so
Yeah,
we're
that's
like,
true.
let's fill it in! I mean, it's difficult to make people read things on the screen when we could do it for them. Come on.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for an... Oh, there we go.
Oh,
There we go, we found it.
that's the
Nailed
leverage
it.
we need.
Let's
That's
see.
the leverage we need.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to. And if nothing I can do can erase this fact. Sorry, dudes, just Silo. Oh no, you got hacked.
Oh no!
sorry,
oh no! But welcome back.
Welcome back. I mean, the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, and the responsibility of the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might make.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
Oh, so tsundere.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on a trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's why my superiors are banking on. I've never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became a prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture, something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this.
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back.
This.
Oh, yeah. Chief Dant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. This was the red, white, and blue one, right? That was the Maya's one related to Maya Fey.
Mia.
Mia.
Maya. Mia,
Yeah.
Maya. Yeah, both. Actually, both.
It was the murder of Maya.
Yeah, so
Maya Fey.
Mia, Maya,
There's a
both.
couple of emails saying I got signed in somewhere in India. Now I can't log in.
Aww.
Make sure there's nothing important on that. Especially if you use passwords that are the same, if it gets hacked, just start redoing every other password you can, because they'll trace like, oh, I see you linked it to Facebook, I see you've linked it to all these other things. You'll probably use the same password. They'll try and hack that part too. So, and if you have credit card information, fucking just let it go. That's why if you ever really get concerned or you have any type of important information on your Twitch accounts, you do
Double author.
2-point authorization. What is it called? 2-step authorization.
Two-factor authentication.
Thank you, Austin.
Authorization, yeah.
He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here because of to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right.
Interesting.
Can I present him anything particularly? No.
The
Oh, that's one
picture?
of the team. Yeah, we should probably do that. Present. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Grant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes.
The trophy Mr. Marshall's holding. It's a
Oh.
little different than yours.
I didn't notice that. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That's what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There was a story behind its design.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradictions. That's what the award's based on.
Ah.
Another talking point. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first meaning halberd, the second meaning shield. Have you heard this story? Oh, it's the strongest sword, strongest shield? Me? Sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell me that, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. I don't even know, I know that one. Yeah. Yeah, the strongest.
Yeah.
The strongest sword and the strongest weapon and the strongest shield. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute.
Objection!
Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredits them both. When the king points this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Is that true?
That's probably true, actually. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it is in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow! Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why are you only given the shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gaunt. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Ooh.
Chief Gant, King of Prosecutors. That's weird.
Ooh.
That is very weird. I guess that's it for now. I don't think there's anything else we can present to him. So I'm getting banished to Edmonton this summer. Why?
Oh.
Why? So you can just get burned up with the rest of the prairie fire? Fuck. So the knife. Maybe we can present this bad boy again. You know, it wouldn't hurt someone to put this up on a shelf. It has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell in the past? He's asking me?
Why can't you just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about this shield. Look, do you notice anything different?
Might do some work from doing some work from Dad's law office. Perfect job.
Perfect.
Objection, son. That's not the way this works. Damn it.
Hold it.
Hold it. Take that. Yeah. Don't you remember the others shield in the court record? Guess I better present this other shield. What other shield? This is the court record, right?
I think he actually does
Yeah,
need a picture.
I think we made the picture. I think we're good here.
Yeah.
Move over.
Yeah, once you get logged in, you can change the email in your account settings, right? So someone
Probably just jacked
we
it.
already...
Oh, it's May.
We need you here!
May.
Oh, oops. Sorry.
That doesn't appear. Hold on, we gotta get May
Excuse
for
me.
this. This is her. May. You bitch. That's how I treat my friends. I just yelled at them. We're gonna be right.
Do 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 do
Yes.
do do
Everybody in
do
the chat, how you feeling? You liking Phoenix Wright? Let me know. not, maybe next time I'll probably transfer to a different game. And then go back to stage right there.
You know, I'm really, really enjoying this side story of Undead's D&D campaign. This very elaborate D&D campaign going on.
Be master, woman.
Ooh, look at that. We got 9 people in the house today. Ooh, that's neat.
Our hope will be eventually there'll be 40.
42.
No, just happened to 13.
Huh? Oh, I took it off because I put on the marijuana rat.
Marijuana mouse.
I mean, the catnip mouse. Would you like to find where the marijuana rat is?
No, oh, I know where it is now.
You know where it is? You want to go get that? Because it flings across the house really nicely. It's actually... How big was your D&D group that for most of those? Again, I'm like incredibly impressed that you can manage to keep a group going for so many years.
Yes, why needs to be involved.
Are we gonna finish this case tonight? We are going to try. Okay, where do I gotta
They
sit?
don't get pulled in the rat involved.
Huh?
Don't take great business.
That's fine.
Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
Are you asking me for meat? Some thick meat?
Rash, this is your
I'm
turn.
moving.
You're moving. How far away are we from the end?
We have the one last court case.
Yeah, but I mean, look at like Brendan's reaction is like, we're gonna try and finish this?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
You can unzoom just a little bit more. Zoom a little bit. You can't do the job, woman. Don't sit in the
Late night.
pilot seat. It's a Saturday. That's what we're here for.
It's a
Alright.
Saturday. We can do this. It's not like anyone has any stakes on a Sunday morning. Meow meow. Did I hear a meow meow? Oh, there is a meow meow. Oh yeah, look at that meow meow.
Zoom out just a bit.
Meow.
Boop, boop, boop,
Wow,
boop.
wow.
Done. Alright, cool. Story of my life.
Wow.
Phoenix,
Wow.
Miss Star. I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk.
Shh, shh. This has got to be sensual. Get in real close when you say it. You say it like you mean it, woman. Say the line again, woman.
Say it like you mean it.
I can't say it again.
Do it. Say it. Say it for the people. Do it for the views.
That's right. Getting real close.
Give those nips. You can do it, mate. You can do it, mate. You can suck those cow nipples. Do it.
Oh my god.
Suck those cow nipples. Okay, I won't force you to. We'll move on.
Okay, we understand about the.
Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
Everyone in this trial was involved with the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transfer. This can't be attributed to a mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Like
No.
sucking on some nipples. Like, I can do that.
You know, that little scene I happened to witness.
You mean the nipple
Ooh.
sucking? Was there a nipple sucking? Did I miss it?
Why am I always the weirdest chick in in anything?
At least
Ooh.
they're better than spirit hands, the little magic hands.
She walked in. She really walked into a scene right there.
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
Ooh, stabbed or pegged?
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be, savored when eaten.
Okay, this is getting real. It's Miss Star's hatred toward Lana.
It all dates back to 2 years ago. More nipples. Tell me more about the nipples.
More about the nipples.
Give me the more nipples. Give me more nipples.
Joe Dark, that's a name I'll not soon forget.
Try to move over a bit, or
Oh, where am I moving?
you can move to the left. You can move on the seat because you're shorter. You'll still fit the frame. Ugh,
Oh.
Joyce.
What?
We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure.
Lean in closely. Oh, the pressure. Under pressure.
Still, I don't think I was ever more
Josh, why you
alive
keeping-
than I was then.
I don't fit anywhere anymore.
Sit here. Sit her.
I don't fit anywhere
Sit.
anymore.
Oh my god, woman. And there, you'll fit in frame because you were short enough. You're done.
Okay, fine.
Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy.
Yeah,
Why
say
the
it.
frick
Say
was-
it.
does she say
was
weird
steamy.
shit like that?
She's a foodie. I'm sorry.
Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her? Lana Scott.
Lana Sky, my sister.
The best of the best were put on the SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo.
Under pressure.
Get on me. Get on me.
Oh, no, that's not
No,
me.
that's me.
That's Joyce.
Lana and Chief Gant.
Lana.
Lana! Lana! Lana!
That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in the court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear. What other items were kept secret? Wow.
But if you don't have proof anything illegal was done,
I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Sky transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Sky was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
She was being used? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then, no one could stand in his way. Hair flick. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred?
If he can control the chief prosecutor, he can control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for her change.
At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Demon Kent and Lana Sky. Kent led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Demon Gant's magnetism was almost unreal. What?
His magnetism?
By that I mean his ability to attract evidence.
A draft. A draft.
This sharp intake.
He produced the most incredible evidence in the case he'd handled.
Incredible evidence. Incredible evidence. You mean his penis?
Incredible evidence.
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh yeah, about his incredible
No one dared
evidence.
confront him though.
I take it she's talking about forged evidence. God, I hope it's forged evidence.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked, and always watch out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Miss Starr.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that?
I
Aha.
think that's it, unless we have some evidence.
What do we have that's new? Let's check out.
The resignation,
No.
the team picture, the SL9 incident files, maybe the base.
I don't think that's gonna do
No, she
anything.
doesn't have anything.
No. I mean, maybe the picture, but she's not really related to the picture. Yeah, no. Let's see if we can't strong arm.
Okay, now we can pressure Gumshoe into maybe letting us into the office. Oh, he's not here?
Oh, he's here.
Oh, you're back.
You're still here?
I gotta make 150 copies of
Oh.
these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey.
Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you into the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line.
That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there.
There's got to be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. There is.
Look at this photo! Look at this resignation!
It doesn't
Every
quite.
time it makes me sad. I don't know. What's this crumpled up piece of paper?
Uh-oh, the music gets
Oh.
quiet.
No way!
That heavy breathing.
Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious.
Is he ever not serious?
I can't believe they pushed him to this. They can't believe they pushed him this far.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him.
Oh, detective.
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But
Here, take my ID card.
We can't do that. If someone finds out.
they wouldn't let you off the hook for another lost item.
Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated.
Aww.
Oh.
What?
So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake.
All right, detective. Thank you. Swiftly into our
shit.
Okay. Oh. No. No.
Look at that fucking organ.
The fucking organ in the background.
Here it goes, Mr. Wright.
Click. Beep. Alarm,
Click.
alarm, alarm. Yeah, it's a fucking
I mean, that
pretentious
also
fuck.
really also explains the theme music being organ style.
Yeah.
If anyone finds us now,
Detective Gumshoe's a goner.
If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out.
He falls. Ah! He screams up behind him.
sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
Ah! Detective Gumshoe? What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong, so I came up too.
If you're here, then what's the point of us what is the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
Hey, don't do that to my card.
Oh my
Do
god.
it.
This is stupid.
Oh man.
I hardly ever get a chance to come here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
They're taking a poop.
Yes.
The boys are taking a poop.
They're pooping.
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Is he gonna say any more shit? Oh, he is.
Yeah.
But let's examine around first.
Ah.
This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue.
Okay, if you say so.
It looks like a code needed to be entered into the panel to open it up.
Do we have a code?
Ooh.
A
A
7-digit
seven-digit
number?
number.
Oh my god. Is it
Whoa,
what I think
yes,
it is?
I think it is what you think.
Do you know what this is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday? It's...
No.
No.
Here we go. Let's try it out.
Oh, a better idea.
7, 7, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, 7, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Woohoo!
It's the
Money in the bank.
ID. Show me what you can. Bingo.
Bing pot.
Bing pot!
Bing pot. What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was it, pal?
777777. The final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean 777777? That ID number?
I think you're 1-7 shy this time.
This can
This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside? Ooh.
Ooh.
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look, it's
A shot from a broken cup.
This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before?
there's something else in here too.
What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. Wait.
With a handprint.
This is...
This is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like this once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? Is that all that's in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now.
A piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup.
They look like pieces of evidence.
Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here.
Wait, how do I have to get to prove their relevancy to get them? How are these two items related to the SL9 incident?
Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective.
There's something we can actually, but before we do,
Let's look at everything else.
this is the real deal, isn't it? The armor and these weapons?
Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations.
First the pipe organ, now the armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it, I'm not paying one more cent of my taxes.
You don't have any taxes to pay. You're 16.
Shh. Shh. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in his armor as we speak.
I don't think he'd fit in there.
Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Fair.
He is kind of scary. What's this one actually?
The desk itself.
This desk is...
Oh, wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. It's made of mahogany.
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 Speaking of that, when we were here earlier,
He
right,
tucked
he tucked
something
something away.
Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant! He put some paper, that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading.
This looks like a list of evidence.
A list of evidence.
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? SL9 incident? I wonder what this is doing here.
Hold on, Detective. What did you just say?
I said I wonder what...
No, about the evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long?
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence. The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. This is the other half.
Or rather, it's...
No, this is the other half of the list, I think. What would the other half of the list be doing here?
I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case.
It would appear so. Evidence list added to the court records. Let's just double check really quick. Okay, that was just a recap. Let's check the court records really quick on all this new evidence.
Ooh. Check behind. Check the behind. Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, this was the picture that Emma drew.
Right.
Damn.
I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here.
What is it? Did you find something?
I can't make it out. I better keep quiet on it for now.
You can't make it out.
Huh. Oh, it's nothing.
Why are your eyes moving like that, Mr. Wright?
I better not forget about this picture. Huh. Neat.
Neat.
Let's
Slide. Let's do the slide and see what's on the other side.
Ooh, we're gonna let it slide.
What's the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. This was taken on that day 2 years ago.
The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma.
After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. He went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think?
Wow, that's nice. What's this one? So this was Lana's desk. Sure is tidy.
Lana always seemed to be a meticulous cleaner.
There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here?
No. Chief Gant must still be keeping it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends were made of.
Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime?
Ah.
So is he a psychopath?
Oh, you bet he is.
These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf.
Hey, this is where Lana and I went to that theme park.
Oh, so that's what this one is there. Alright, cool. There's a window?
No? Sure.
Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside.
This is the 15th floor.
I know, I was just saying.
Saying what?
Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that.
Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams.
So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired.
Oh, Luminol? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say luminol next.
Don't say that.
Luminol! Oh, I gotta check out the organ.
And then the organ.
The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold.
Oh, you bet his organ
He's
is...
got a thick, hefty organ.
It's so big.
It's like looking at a baby's hand, you know? Occasionally, we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department.
Oh, yeah, well, I bet you hear him playing
That's
it.
on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building.
Where the detective screws up, the chief calls them into his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours.
Oh, so that means he's not very good at it. What's so bad about that? Music soothes us all.
After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears.
So it's an instrument of punishment, literally.
Ooh, and aren't the chief's ears affected?
He never listens to anyone anyway.
That's true, that's why he's always like doesn't say anything for a long point of time. That's beside the point. Alright, so with everything in here, let's give a little bit of a quick luminol check.
Luminol.
Luminol. Let's get it on. Ooh, and we can also do some fingerprinting.
Yeah. Can we?
Yeah, we have fingerprints out, right? We can use it with E, is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Enter to...
What about this? Nothing.
No, man. The other desk.
No. I wish to spritz what I wish to spritz, woman. Sorry.
That side!
Present. No, it's spritz all over wherever. What's spritz? Spritz.
By the window? The floor by the window? Yeah.
Spritzing. More spritz.
Oh, there it
That's
is!
a lot of
What
no.
did I say? There it is, because that's where Marshall was killed.
Yes.
Whoa, this area must have been covered in blood.
Is this from that incident?
Must be. When Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered? 2 years have passed, so the reaction's kind of dull.
So a murder really did take place here.
No shit.
So that's that. No. Spritz everything!
Cutest lad.
God, there's so much white all over here. Must have been so much blood. Nothing.
Mr. Wright, you're gonna owe me another bottle. So,
That doesn't seem to do anything. Let's present.
talking point.
Oh yeah, let's do some talking points. That's right. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's?
Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now?
No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene.
That's a strange reason to leave it here.
He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
I see.
So, ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk.
No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining.
And yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9's crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it?
Why do you ask?
You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be. No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, now let's look around a bit more.
Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy.
Huh? What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to stop bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go like that.
They still play. Yes, we're trying to finish
we
it.
are. It's a long trial,
Yeah.
but we want to finish it.
Yeah.
We haven't even actually gotten to the trial.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oof.
Sorry, this guy's getting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think?
Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet.
There you go, ignoring me again.
Aw.
Ignoring me again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Did we finally get some evidence?
I'm doing an extra evidence, but let's.
We also did say we needed to, yeah.
Yeah, because he said he would not give us it unless we could connect the pieces to the actual thing.
Yeah.
Detective Gumshoe, that's me.
Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar?
I remember when the three of us put that back together. Those were the days.
That was
It was
literally
kind of early to be. It's kind of early to be
That was
nostalgic.
literally yesterday. Wasn't this jar? Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of the shots had an SL9 incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, the fragment we just found.
You mean this one? That was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the
Look
safe.
at this jar!
Oh, he gets it.
Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Yeah.
Assemble the fragments! Fragments
assemble!
Why am I friends with you guys?
You drink your num-nums, okay? Here, let's see. Here, let's see what that. Let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this.
Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here it goes. Go sleep. But hi everyone. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Where's the rotation in this bad boy? Q to rotate. There we go. And combine.
Yep. Shunk.
Nailed it first time.
Ooh.
Here, it fits like a charm. And that of course means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident.
What?
Hey guys, get a load of this.
What is it?
This piece you just attached. It's different from the others.
We prepped May for the JoJo ending this time. Yes. Yes, now you understand. There's a reddish line on it.
A reddish line? That's blood.
I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Unstable jar updated in the court records.
Oh, the judging end. So there's a sound clip that we play sometimes at the end of a stream, and we all do a JoJo pose.
May was not informed.
I had no idea what was going on, and all of a sudden they're just like, okay, 1, 2, 3. They start all posing, and I was in the background. I was like,
And you dare go, what is
I just
happening?
bursted out. I was like, what's going on? Yeah.
Huh? Hey, look here. It's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here.
It looks like blood.
This piece the chief has is different, though. The bloodstains on the other pieces are just spots, but this one is a line.
That's odd.
Ooh.
If I rotate this, can I check on the inside somewhere? No. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. No.
Hello.
It's on the outside. Okay, there's nothing much.
Oh, is that something you got a luminol?
I don't think I can combine evidence yet, can I?
I don't know.
So we got that part. What about the leather? What's something about the? Oh, can we dust?
Ooh, man.
We can't unless we're doing something specific. Unfortunate. Actually, no, we can't. We can present it, but we can go to the court records. Can we dust for prints?
No, not the same way.
No, that's unfortunate.
No.
Because that would
That was a one-trick pony.
that would have been very easy to figure out what the password could have been
Dust,
on the the pad, but
Yeah.
unfortunately not the case. Can we present profiles? Oh, we have profiles right here. Okay. So we're missing.
Oh shit! Yeah, we do have profiles.
Yeah, but we can't present them, can we?
Not
We
yet.
cannot. But next time. Autopsy report. Tip of the knife on the wound. Okay, never mind. That's not right.
Can we look into the safe one more time, see if it triggers?
Because it was a leather patch with a...
Examine first. Yeah, because we never actually examined the,
Well, we don't have it with us.
No, not the urn itself, again.
We did.
We clicked it in, and then...
What? No, I clicked it in and I examined the blood
Did
stain.
you?
Yes, I did. Fine, I'll do it again. Examine court records. Court records.
Because Brendan's saying examine...
I did examine it. Yeah, because I did this and I checked the check marks there.
Yeah, it is.
So it doesn't see anything else. Yeah, nothing. So what's left is that patch. We gotta figure out a way to kind of like convince him to give it to us. I feel like I thought the picture would have done it, but is there a talking point that's been opened up? No, there isn't.
Again, maybe
Oh.
examine the safe again, see if we can't bring up the bit about the cloth.
Just give me 1 second. I'm going to present this first.
That's what the chief was reading before, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we'll show him the full face later. We'll see what happens.
Show him the powder.
I should have shown the powder. I don't think. I'll show him
The cocaine.
the cocaine. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks,
Show him the cocaine.
it looks like the right side of the form's been torn off.
So Mr. Edgeworth's list really was only half of the whole thing.
So we can bring this back to Edgeworth maybe and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Something else is bugging me more than that. Take a look at the back of the form, pal.
The back. Oh, we already did this to ourselves. Yeah, we did this. So he's
Uh-huh.
he gave us that. Let's give him the full.
I feel a lot better now that the jar's complete.
But it only raises another question. What was a piece of it doing in the chief's safe?
More importantly, why wasn't there any money in there?
No!
Isn't that what safes are for anyway?
Oh,
I
honey.
have a feeling the outcome of tomorrow's trial might just hinge on this. No. Oh, this is actually unique. I'm sorry.
Note to self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus.
Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
There's something else here.
Show him the powder. Powder!
Out there.
Powder! Say it, Frenchie. Powder!
Oh yeah, Detective Gumshoe. I'd like you to have a look at this.
Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints?
Oh, there you go.
That's a great idea, Detective.
All right, go to town. Sheesh.
Oh, we can do it. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that?
Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes.
That was
Oh,
Phoenix.
sorry. Come on, this isn't time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. There we go.
Oh, I knew that. The one with that the handprint on it, right?
Ugh.
Sheesh, where's your sense of humor?
Oh.
Yeah, so this is where we're
There
going.
we go. Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's check for fingerprints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth.
Cocainium.
Sprinkle the powder on the cloth.
No wanna.
Take a big whiff.
Then,
Ah, that bitch. What? Like, what? Nothing. That's different.
once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. Blow it. Blow it,
What are you,
Mr.
my
Wright.
mom? I don't have to be told a million times. All right, let's get it over with. I'm not a pussy. Mama didn't raise no punk bitch. And I'm gonna blow it. Blow it so hard. Yeah. Blow it. Nailed it.
Too much of
Eh.
too partial.
I gave it my best shot.
That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it?
But it doesn't look like we'll get any clear results from this print.
Okay, let's try a different finger then.
Let's try this one. This one's good. Oh, yeah. Where's the cocaine? Yeah, that was good.
Whoa, yeah!
Powder up the remaining parts with the cocainium.
Cocainium.
Nailed it! First time.
All right.
It's probably Gantz. Nope, it's not. Emma
Emma.
Sky.
Ah. Oh, you in trouble.
You did it all along. Can you imagine that would be such a fucking twist? Like she's the murderer all along. You're like, what the fuck, dude? No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints.
Psst, hey, you guy. Hey, you. Over here. What's going on here? What are those kids' prints doing on the chief's safe?
Oh, he knew. He saw it. Please don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now.
Here, maybe you should hold on to this.
Yeah.
Oh, he like on good conscience. He's like, I'm gonna let this. Yeah.
Well, was I any help?
Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get hard evidence.
Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless.
Oh Jesus, it's Gant.
Isn't that right, you indicate?
Tried to call the police department's non-emergency number so many times tonight.
It's a lot of ugh happenings.
Chief Gant!
We didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and I saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought about a certain detective.
Oh.
Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the kit. Me, sir? Drop off your ID card on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
Oh.
But sir!
Oh, there's a long pause.
Now get out!
Whew.
Yes, sir! Oh, he got angry.
Yeah.
Gumshoe's just like, fuck this guy.
We'll be on our way too then.
Wait! You, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
Me, sir.
Oh god, this is gonna go south
Oh,
so fucking
no.
fast. I'd like a word with you.
Shit.
But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair, you're free to go.
We had an idiot sleeping on the glass medium on the middle of the highway. Oh, just dumbasses. I mean, like, we have Richmond. Richmond is a, like, dumb car people area. I don't know why. It's just the worst. The worst stories come out from there.
I mean, like...
Richmond. Richmond car stories are the worst.
Like bad drivers in Richmond?
Look,
But
pal.
I mean, like...
If I
of-
told
of
you
all
once, I told
places,
you
if you're
1,000
gonna,
times.
If you have no place to sleep, of all the places you would put yourself...
Is the middle
In
of a
the
busy
median?
highway. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I would have never said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant is hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why was he eerily silent? Why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time?
Anyway, are you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal.
Oh, he's still trying to keep his job. Drunk drivers maybe on the road. We had
Yeah.
our taxi driver yesterday talked about all the weird bullshit he's seen on the road recently. Just like drunk drivers left, right, and center. He's like, I don't understand. Like, it's dead at night, swerving all over the road. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, when you...
He's seen some shit. man.
Yeah.
After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions.
Dispatch is starting to recognize my voice.
So she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Oh, Lana. Lana!
I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning.
It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to do everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
But I've already told you all I can.
What you've told me these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems like Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Oh, I bet he's
Friend
thick-headed.
Geek, it's 3 in the morning. It's
Hello,
only midnight
friend.
here. Where are you from, friend? I see you.
Clearly somewhere East Coast.
Yay!
Hello, also welcome joining in from YouTube here.
The tubs, as we call it in the hood. I don't know. I'm gonna go.
How did you find us perchance?
Who are you? Who sent you? Sorry.
What the fuck is this
I can't,
game?
sorry. What the fuck is this game? This game is called Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. It is a puzzle game based around you being a lawyer. But usually the cases are like completely like extravagant, convoluted, and just like topsy-turvy. But they're really funny. They're very intense in some instances. So if you really
They're a
like,
bit wild.
if you like funny little puzzle games with puns and very bad voice dubs,
In our case.
in our case, feel free to drop a subscribe or follow us on Twitch. And yeah, we play every Saturday. Phoenix Wright stuff.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright is every Saturday, but since we are a team,
Should I subscribe? I'm not
yeah.
telling you you should, but if you do, I would appreciate it. I don't know about the rest of the guys. I can't speak.
I think we'd appreciate it. They do not follow evidence law.
They don't. Yeah,
No,
they
that's
don't
for
actually
sure.
follow evidence law. This is a bastardized version of the law because there's just so many people.
I am the law.
Yeah, law. Like judge, jury, executioner. The judge is the judge. Is a judge. Legitimate. Like she is judge, jury, executioner.
Undead is like, this hurts me inside.
But the premise of the law is that because there was so much lawlessness, so many people breaking the laws.
They needed to process faster.
Yeah.
And in doing so, they cut a lot of corners.
Yeah. I came here from a game called Attorney Online, and if you haven't played Danganronpa, you should play it. Danganronpa I've heard a lot about. I haven't got around to playing it, mostly because I don't like to play games with a lot of hype. It tends to like influence me in a bad way, so I usually keep it for an extended period of time and then get into it. Attorney Online, is that...
No, that can't be the chat one, because I mean, otherwise you would recognize Phoenix Wright.
Anyway, I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first.
We were talking
You
about.
insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person? The one I'm supposedly frightened of. What is this person's name?
His name is Meekins! Mike Meekins! He's the mastermind behind it all!
Sir, I just wanted to let you know, sir, that you're...
Yeah, I did it! You were all a fool. I got away with it too if it wasn't for you damn kids. It's a shitpost game about now. A what game?
What do you mean a shitpost game about now? What?
Oh, the what? We're talking about
What?
us right now? What?
I'm so confused.
I'm confused. What's going on? I need more fuller sentences. Grammar, words. Wellness guy? Oh.
Oh, she's turning. Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did, specifically hiding and forging evidence.
Of course, these are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was...
Me.
Oh, Attorney Online is shitpost. Okay, cool. Are you guys and girls, what are you to each other? Oh, that's my friend, May. She doesn't really come on often. She's just hanging out with us, drinking
I
a lot of wine.
sometimes come on
Yeah.
Saturdays
Yeah.
when I have it
Joyce
off.
and I are a couple, and we play games. Usually, most of the times we play it together, especially with bad voice dubs, because I can't do all the girl voices, so Joyce does all the girl voices.
Also, there are a lot of voices if you were doing it on your
Oh
own.
yeah,
Like,
no, I'd kill myself.
if you had to do this for, like, how long would we be on for now? Like, 4 hours? If you had to do 4 hours on your own? Holy shit.
But yeah, and then there's other people who are on this channel.
We are.
James, Ash, Colston, they all play different types of games. So yeah. you
Yeah,
can-
so we are officially a group of 5, and we swap out every day. So yeah, there's the 2 of us, Arash, Joyce, May guest stars occasionally, and then the rest of the team is Ash, James, and Colston. And yeah, so every day we play something. We play something each night, and on Sundays we all get together and have a couch play session. Right now we're doing Tales of Symphonia on Sundays. Everybody has a different day, has a different game, so you get a good variety of everything. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but the other one, Damon Gant.
The other one. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsifies evidence in that case. The list!
The unstable jar. Or falsified, you're right.
The list. It's ripped in half.
I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It is as you surmised, I cannot disobey the Chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty of murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman.
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edwards' car.
One of the advantages of being a cute girl is that all the Uber drivers bring you food. Is that serious?
What?
What?
I've never had an Uber driver, I haven't had a friend tell me that an Uber driver brings them food. Just as expected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Well, I mean, also because like you work at a toll booth, right? So people naturally will have to go through you as a checkpoint. So yeah, I guess if you endear yourself to certain Uber drivers, they're like, hey, while I'm passing through here.
I have to go to bed when school comes
Florida!
for me. It's summer
I
back
love
in
Disney
America.
World.
Sure. Tubers like y'all are underrated. See you, my peeps. All right, yeah, we'll see you in Florida. Oh, I'll see you
Yeah,
then.
East
buddy.
Coast.
We will see you tomorrow. Usually
Yeah.
we start a little bit earlier. Like we usually start around 8, so like maybe midnight-ish.
Yeah, like
For
8,
for Florida,
11,
Floridians. Yeah.
11 p.m. in East Coast. So if you're there around then, that's when we usually start. 11 Eastern time, 8 Pacific.
All right, friend geek. You have a good night.
All
now.
right.
Bye.
Good night. Good night, friend geek. Welcome to the team.
Welcome to the squad. Legoland.
Lego and Disney. Yeah.
Disney. Lego.
Disneyland.
We're talking about how Lego is just like the B-rated like games of everything. Because it was like, Forza DLC, Forza Lego, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh my
what's
god,
next?
that was amazing.
Age of Empires.
Lego. Minecraft. Lego.
I was like, why? It's
That's
the same
exactly
thing. Yeah, but now Lego. Oh lord. As you can see, I am friendly too. Everyone here is
Yeah.
friendly. We love everybody as much as we can. Almost carnally, but
Pew, 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 pew,
pew 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 left fire. Ah. Anyway, cool. The murder weapon. You mean Edgeworth's knife?
No, when I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it.
The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife.
I couldn't just leave that knife in him.
Roblox Lego. You're getting it.
Ah,
You're
yeah.
good. Star Wars Lego, which is actually legitimate. Actually, that was announced at E3.
So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
That would be Edgeworth's knife.
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand.
Oh. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand.
Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoe as well.
Oh, so it's hers.
And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in.
Miss Star, huh?
Oh, Danganronpa is a lot like this game.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly?
It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again.
Bye, friend geek.
Good night!
Go sleep.
My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible.
So you hid Dark's knife.
The weapon used to stab Detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, Which it would. The reporters would have a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe, if you know what I mean.
Nah. Right. Then I called my sister. To tell her what happened, and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma?
I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this.
Excuse me. That would explain why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
A bad feeling?
The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall,
To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
the lead investigator for SL9 incident, had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
Oh, you mean...
Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands.
He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence.
He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubt he must have had disappeared.
So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. It's all coming together.
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
But Lana,
You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. I'm gonna head off to bed. Might watch more, but unfortunately, let me remind you again. Be very working. You know what? I think I'm just gonna pause it, and we're probably gonna play the trial last tomorrow, next week. So, and what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago? Yeah, definitely. We'll do
This
it.
seems like a natural
Yeah.
to be continued. This seems like a natural ending point.
Yeah,
I
let's
guess
end it right now. Yeah.
we'll call it a night.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us,
Blah, blah.
all you newbies. I really appreciate y'all coming by and saying hello. Feel free to speak up in the chat. There's a lot of good people. We got a lot of people in the chat to kind of like talk around with. We have a Discord. We have Instagram, Facebook, all that
We should
jazz.
really add the Discord link into the
Yeah, I have to
the
refresh.
bot.
I have to refresh the Discord link. Yes, Edgy Jake, we
rockin'
rockin'.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Anyway, so again, thank you for coming to join us for Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This is the last finale fatality next week. On
Last
Saturday.
final
We'll
underscore
do-
for sure this
we will
time.
do it. We'll do it.
Threes.
Faux show. And then we will see you all tomorrow on Sunday for a team stream. If you'd like to see all the people involved, I don't know if May will be involved because she's probably
Working the next
working the next day or something. You'll never know.
surprise.
And then we can fill you in on what we're gonna do for the next couple weeks of s'more. S'more is the cool way of saying
S'mores.
summer. But yeah, thank you so much again. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to hit a follow, subscribe if you really want to contribute to the stream. We're planning to go on a big spree to update everyone's rigs and stuff to see if we can get to a nice standard of coolness, so everyone can stream games the way they want to, play with the way they want to, play with whomever they want to. Again, thank you so much. My name's Rashi.
Joyce.
And
Me?
including
Yeah.
and May. Bye.
And,
Sucking on those cow udders. And all of you out there in the chat, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. We don't have the JoJo ending prepared,
Sorry.
so not this time.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday.